Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Vintage Cube experience. This series sponsored by subscriber Femi. He wants me to cube to light trophy. I have played 2 drafts so far. Ended up with like a pretty solid legacy deck in the first one, and maybe a fine modern deck in the second. I would like a vintage cube deck this time. And Jetmir's Garden, Misty Rainforest are fixing. Gaia's Cradle is like honkin' top end stuff that I could draft around from the start. Dack Fayden is just so good though. I'm gonna take Dack. Volcanic Island to go with my Dack. Urza, I've been hooked on Urza a little too much lately. And I love this card. If I ever have a good deck with Urza in it, I'm going to be very happy with that deck. But I want to be able to cast my spells, and I want them to be good. Orcish Bowmaster with Dack Fayden's a little bit of a combo. It's a lot of damage I could push out. Pest Infestation, a powerful card in the cube. I'm taking Volcanic Island, though. And here is Warcrafting. We got a Reader. Deals 5 damage to target creature, planeswalker, battle. Look at the top X cards of your library. X is the excess damage dealt this way. You may exile one of those cards, put the rest on the bottom of your library in order, and you may play the exile card this turn. It doesn't say for free or anything, it just says you can play it. Okay, Chrome Host Sea Shark is a card that there is. Talisman. My last couple drafts, I've been disappointed with the amount of explosiveness that my deck is capable of, and I'm just going to take this 2 mana artifact, even if it's completely off color at this moment, is making that jump from 2 mana to 4, get my powerful spells happening faster, pay off my artifact synergies. That may or may not end up in the deck, but Vintage Cube's full of them. That Urza is in the pack, the Blightsteel Colossus is in the pack. If any of that wheels, I'd be excited to catch it. Tropical Island, Shark Typhoon, City of Traders. I love Ancient Tomb, and City of Traders is medium by comparison. Just, it dying is so bad. Old Kraben Inspector here, hard evidence, good stuff. For me, it's between Tropical Island and Shark Typhoon, and I think I'm going to take the Trop. Make sure my mana is good, is the goal here. Coalition Relic costs 3, but does whatever I want. Talisman of Impulse is red-green. Red is one of, like, I only have 1 spell, but it is a red spell. Don't think I'm going to be chasing the Natural Order Dream here. I have 0 creatures to support Call of the Ring. I don't know if I want Through the Breach. And there is that Blightsteel kicking around in the pack. Waterlogged Groves here. I'm going to take the Relic. I think that's just the safest thing. Wowie, 2 Rituals and Yawgwill all in the same pack. Disappointing. This is the Jund Triome. Upheaval, Jund Triome, Ugin are the cards I'm looking at right now. I think I'm on Team Ugin here. The way to pay off big mana. I like that stuff. Mizzix Mastery casts all the spells from your graveyard. Damn, white is the color I currently can't really make with my things. Not really in black either, just not on any part of Damn. Ophiomancer, Mizzix Mastery. Exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. You cast it, costs 8 to overload this. That's a lot. This pack is mid for me. I gotta be honest. Ophiomancer is pretty good at just hanging out. Wasting everybody's time. I like that. Dark Slick Shores, Blue-White Talisman, Green-Blue Talisman. I don't have any white cards right now. I do have 2 sources of green, and I have Dack who likes blue. I think we're going to take Blue-Green Talisman. And Grixis lands like Dark Slick Shore start getting this Ophiomancer in the mix. I am going to take the Talisman though. Oh, Moto, what are you doing? Okay. Caught Blightsteel on the wheel. I have Ugin. Don't really want these other cards. Assassin's Trophy is reasonable, but Blightsteel is the kind of high roll that I'm okay with. If I end up in any sort of deck that can pay that out, it's one of the best things there is. And there is a Through the Breach kicking around this pack somewhere. Pest Infestation, I think, is better for me than Wheel of Fortune or Wishclaw Talisman. Turnabout, sort of Fire and Ice, Nahiri's Warcrafting. None of these seem very good, actually. Guess I'll take Warcrafting. I don't know. It's at least a removal spell that could draw a card. Unlikely to play it currently. This sort of looks like a green-black deck. Or what is even happening right now? I have Dack Fayden and green and black cards. All right, I'm going to have to make some decisions at some point. All right, but I do have a bunch of mana support. Red, black. That is a Grixis land, kind of. Noxious Gearhulk. If we end up green-black as a base, I'm nowhere near Elspeth Conquer's deck. Death and Waterlogged Grove. Green-blue duel versus solid black card. Urborg, my deck might need that, and then Mutavault. Okay, didn't get that Through the Breach back around. Time Twister. Ooh, Athari Sun's Glory. This is a card that I barely bothered to read the first time I saw it because it's just so many words, but this thing is like really hard to beat. Then we have another red-black duel. Windswept Heath gets Tropical Island, but not Volcanic Island. Passed a bunch of rituals and Yogg-Will and Mizzix's Mastery, pack 1. Somebody's going to be really happy with this Mind's Desire, but it's not going to be me. Toxic Deluge. The One Ring. The One Ring is pretty cool. Do I want to stretch? Because, like, if I'm green-black base, then blue and red are already in the maybe pile, and then this is red and white. Yuck. Okay. I think I'm going to take the One Ring, actually. Underground Sea. I'm excited to see that. Basically, every Reanimate Jodes I'll pay off right here in the same pack. Kogla is not bad, but it's not better than Underground Sea. Yep. I would like to cast spells. Rockren is Jeskai Triome. Steam Vents is on my colors, but that's just Rockren Triome that doesn't make white, in case that matters. Ignoble Hierarch. That does make many of the colors that I am. If I take this, then I'm kind of committing to being base green, because this isn't a card that you just draw on turn 4 and you're happy with. Duretti Iconoclast it's a pretty cool value engine. It doesn't do anything with Blightsteel Colossus, though. Just doesn't end up in the graveyard or anything that's helpful. It's Steam Vents or Ignoble Hierarch for me. I think I'm taking Steam Vents at the end of the day. Like, be base Grixis here, and my green card is Pest Infestation that I could catch on the splash if I even care about it when we get there. Duress, Battle Ball, Thief of Sanity. Massacre Worm is a big O. I like Thief of Sanity a lot. Between Thief of Sanity and Duress, which one do I think I'm more likely to wheel? This deck will need some sort of interaction. Duress can miss sometimes, though. I think I would take Thoughtseize here, but I'm not necessarily sold on Duress. I'm going to take the Thief. Thief theme deck coming together. There's the Tendrils for that Yogg-Will Mind's Desire player. Congratulations. Pestermite, Frost Titan. Another green splash duel. Gix, that's going to be pretty hard to cast, I think. Crystalline Giant. I don't think this card is good, but it can be annoying. It's basically a high roll machine. You have like a 1 in 8 chance that it shows up and immediately gets hexproof, and then it's a monster. But otherwise it sucks. I don't know if I want Wasteland in my possibly 4-color deck. Okay, I'm going to take this artifact creature that I'm sure I'll be able to cast. Badlands, another on-color duel. There's Brain Freeze to go with the Underworld Breach that was in the pack as well, and the Lion's Eye Diamond. Wow, that Storm deck would have been beautiful. But that's not what we're doing here. I like Dothy Voidwalker. I'm not doing anything with this Emrakul. Right now, the Blightsteel's not even in the deck. I'm still playing Ugin, though. I can get the 8 mana. Okay, Badlands is in. Another Eldrazi. I get it. Damnation versus Baleful Strix. Interesting. I think I want Strix. My 2s are pretty miserable right now. It's a nice core Grixis magic card. Alright. On-color Talisman. Slam it. About to say Mystical Tutor. What does that even do for my deck? Not a lot. Desire on the wheel. Third Path Iconoclast. I'm more Grixis now than I was when I started this pack. I think I still had visions of being green or something, but that's not happening. Or it's on the splash for like one card if I do it at all. Yeah, I think 3 PI is the place to be here. There is a Grixis Wedge Dual land here, but I'm interested in this. Kogla, definitely not green enough to play that. Vampire Hexmage could be in my deck. Almost all these cards are terrible. I could just take this Lion's Eye Diamond from the Storm player. I'm genuinely playing 0 of these ever. Oop, Lion's Eye Diamond in the sideboard. Pooped in someone's ice cream. Got this to ready on the wheel. Imperial Recruiter gets Thief. Third Path Iconoclast, Baleful Strix. I think that's worse than a Planeswalker. Massacre Worm. Okay, top end Massacre Worm or low end. I'm a 3.5 color deck. Evolve Sleeper. I don't think I'm going to be able to rely on that. Well, Gix is better than Mindslaver or Tendrils for me. I have the Blightsteel. We have one more pack to get Tinker. And then we're cooking. I have the artifacts to support it. Cool. Got this Voidwalker that I thought about the first time I saw it. And Freebooter also goes in the deck. Cool. Alright, there's kind of a low to the ground thing happening. Maybe I cut all the splash color, cut all the top end, or at least a lot of the top end, and I'm just this like Gix tempo Grixis deck. Taking stock of this pack. Watery Grave, Plateau, Blood Tithe Harvester, Vendilion Click. Alright, I'm obviously not taking Plateau. This, for me, is Burst Lightning, Watery Grave, Blood Tithe Harvester, or V-Click. I don't actually have a lot of removal or reach at this point. I'm going to take the Burst Lightning. I think my mana is actually pretty good. There's a Firebolt. That's the same vibe. Creeping Tar Pit is also kind of reach while being in a dual land. Unblockable creatures can get it done. I think I want Tar Pit over Firebolt, though. I do want this Firebolt. Not really in a Shallow Grave space. Night's Whisper, I don't think I want that. Tar Pit's in. Yawgmoth, Fire Covenant. This is one of my favorite cards that there is. Spell Pierce, though. Spell Pierce and Phantasmal Image both look really good right now. I don't think my deck's really leveraging Lotus Petal. Like, which one of these cards is good enough to spend an extra card on? I guess any of these threes, really, if I get it down a turn early, is pretty good. I want Spell Pierce, though, for the same reason I took Burst Lightning. Just looking at what my deck needs right now, that's kind of it. Liliana, Thieving Skydiver, Academy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reasonable low-cost artifacts. I do want this Skydiver, but this pack is pretty early. Between Murderous Rider, Skydiver, and Lily, I'm likely to get something I'll play back from this. I'm going to take Academy. Scarab Gods in my colors. Ketria Triome. And I'm probably not playing this Pest Infestation, so I think it's just Sower of Temptation. Ketria Triome and Breeding Pool both cast the Pest Infestation, but I think I'm just cutting that and my green duels, and then rocking out as Grixis Tempo. Croaks is really hard to enable and pay off. Yeah, I'm going to take Sower. Subtlety, Spellseeker, Hymn to Turok. Subtlety is cool. That fits the Grixis Tempo thing. Hymn to Turok, one of my favorite spells ever. Kinda hard to cast, though. So I do have an Urborg in the deck. Black, 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 black. That's actually really tough. The Hymn versus Subtlety. I'm going to take Subtlety, though. Blood Crypt, Char. If 4 red sources, I'll probably put some Number of Mountains in the deck. None of my talismans make red. The Coalition Relic does. I think I want the Char, actually, though. Jitte. I have become this creature deck. Jitte will probably do more than a Char will, in general. Rabble Master, Red Talisman. I do have an Academy now. And I did just say none of my talismans make red. Cruel Ultimatum at the top end. Can we get there? And Rabble Master is cool, but I have lots of creatures. Watery Grave on the wheel, wow. Though the Blood Tithe Harvester, also pretty good. I have 27 playables already. Okay, I don't need another 2-drop. I have a lot of those. I'll just take the dual land. None of these dual lands are for me. Not really. Fast spawn, just wheeling and wheeling. Sad to see it. I will take the Blooming Marsh in case I decide Pest Infestation is a good sideboard card at any point. Fire Cove versus Yogg. I think it's Fire Covenant. I passed on a Toxic Deluge earlier. Thieving Skydiver and Murderous Rider back around. Skydiver versus Rider. I think I actually want the Rider. I love Skydiver, but removal interaction. Thought this Croxa, unlikely to play it, but I'm aware of it. Probably not playing Ugin at this point either. Though this Academy could get me up to Ugin. Brankle, Master of Brankle. I'm actually in a deck that might leverage that thing. I'm not in a Mishra's Workshop deck. Okay, let's recut the pile that I already cut, but didn't actually cut. Mutavault's a maybe. I'm a 3-color deck, but this is a powerful land. I'm going to put Croxa in the maybe pile with Mutavault. Rebooter is Disruption. I did want that. Oh, Ophiomancer would have been good with the Yawgmoth. Forgot about that one briefly. Ugin, Pest Infestation, Blightsteel, get out. Currently 27 spells. A lot of these are mana rocks, though. I might be able to reassess my mana rock situation. Coalition Relic might be too slow at this point. I'm lower to the ground than I suspected I might be when I took this card. I'm going to bounce that right away. We've got a red Talisman, blue-green, black-green, blue-black. Talisman of Dominance is a double hit. The rest of them are single hits. The Academy is just so good. Even if we're not casting this Blightsteel Colossus or Ugin, it's still like play a creature and then also cast and equip Umezawa's Jitte on like a turn 4 situation. Just completely messed up. Duretti's Little Buddies, I believe, are artifacts too. Yep, they are colorless construct tokens. Maybe Maskar Worm is a sideboard card. There are some matchups where this just won't do anything. I think I like the One Ring, Rankle. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life, draw a card. Each player sacks a creature. Rankle can be potent. I can see that happening. I think I'm going to play 1 more card. 16 lands with 4 talismans. I think that's enough mana. Do have to account for the fact that Academy isn't actually a land until I get the first talisman in, so it would be like 15 with 2 talismans with an asterisk. Here he's Warcrafting. Let's read this one again. Or let's assess base colors. Like, I am base black with blue and red splashes, basically, or pretty much. That's like just how my spells ended up. I have multiple black things, and I have Urborg to help facilitate that. I think Warcrafting, just as a red spell, probably gets the chop here. So this is 24 spells, 9 lands. Throw some basics in here, and then let's see what this actually looks like. Sort by color. Okay, these are my black spells. That's the core of my deck. These are my blue spells. These are my red spells. Or I have some blue reds. This is not a perfect pile. Okay, I'll put my blue reds down here. There's 2 of those to be aware of. Those are still red spells, but they touch blue as well. So you can't just like put them next to black the way I was hoping for. Okay. We've got 9, 10, 11 black sources, plus the Urborg that if I draw that, we're just set on that. 10 blue sources, 7 red sources. Red is... There are as many red cards... Or no, that's not true, because the blue-red ones count as both piles. There's slightly more blue requirement in the deck than there is red. So 11, 10, 7. Actually, reasonable split. If anything, I might even want another swamp over a red source. Now, I think this actually looks pretty good right where it is. Well, Grixis Tempo. I'll take that. Okay. Grixis tempo deck. I've got some efficient removal. I've got a clock and a couple different draw engines. I've got an academy. Sounds good. As good as it's going to get anyway. This is where we are. Let's do this thing. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play with some mana acceleration and access to all my colors. Let's do it. Just gonna Watery Grave and send it, see what you're up to. Opponent mold is 6. Okay, I'm gonna lead on the blue talisman because I have double blue anyway, just in case they decide to spell pierce or get aggressive here. I'd rather protect the talisman that is a unique color. Uh-oh. Talisman Mirror. Ophiomancer's sweet. And I can double spell this turn. Talisman. Ophiomancer. Yeah, this feels like we're vintage cubing. Just passing the turn with 5 mana and 2 creatures in play at the end of turn 3. Like, maybe we still get dumpstered here, but this is already more powerful than the other 2 drafts I've done. Now I hope to draw Gix and just draw a bunch of cards next turn. EI. Uh-oh. I can answer their next 2 creatures. Let's hope that there are any creatures to answer. Oh, Lightning Bolt. This is an efficient deck. Mox Emerald too. Power 9. Good stuff. I don't know what that's like. I've never seen one in my entire life. Wow, they didn't cast the Bolt. Interesting. They had a target, they had red mana. This is an opponent who has something in their hand. Luckily for me, I don't have any cards to play. They just end step Paradoxical Outcome. That's rough. Fact or Fiction. Yeah, I don't like that one either. Tinker, Karn, Incinerate. Tinker versus everything. Is that how I want to do this? I don't think the Mountain's going to make a huge difference, so I'll at least not give them 4 cards if they ignore the Tinker. If their Tinker is a robot, I actually have it covered. Yeah, and they did take the Tinker. Let's see if they have a Bolas's Citadel, or if this is just something I can take or kill. Yep, Tinker resolves. Bolas's Citadel it is. And they seem to be passing the turn. Alright, do I have any reasonable out to this thing? Wait, does this destroy an artifact? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna attack first, and then see what happens. Okay, no counterspell, please, because I am ready to win this game. No, they're tapping mana. This is cheating. That's an outrage. Okay, I think I have to just cast Murderous Rider here and start the pressure. I have to get their life total low enough that they can't just cast their deck, and I can still remove a creature if I need to. Grand Dynamo puts them to 10. A lot of mana being spent. 10 in the pool. Upheaval. Grody. Okay, I mean, my cards are in my hand. I don't see any black in the pool to replay Citadel, but that might not be necessary. You certainly dump back out all these talismans. Opal makes black. That's 1 of the 3 necessary to cast Citadel. Okay, I mean, that was an emergency defense upheaval. It was still good for, you know, 1 million cards, but they're at 4. Water Grave tapped, and I guess I'll go to discard and dump 3 lands here. Swamp. Island Swamp. Yeah, just all the basics are gone. Remember when I said my deck feels a little vintage? My opponent's deck feels more vintage. Okay, we're starting to rebuild. This is just turns 1 through 3 over again for me, but they started with 6 mana in play. Please don't some big dumb creature I can steal. I still have the Sower, and I'm ready to play it. My fast mana Or at least ramp. I don't know if we call talismans fast mana, but my ramp catching me back up here. They thought about casting a spell, then didn't. Don't know what that means for me, but I will put the Ophiomancer back in. We've done this before. And they know Murderous Rider's in my hand, so maybe that's why they backed off. Okay, we're right back in there. They are at 1 life on the board. Just 7 cards in their hand. We know one of them is Bolas' Citadel. Sundering Titan. Well, that certainly gets me good. Kills every single one of my lands. But I do have a Death Touch Snake. Fire Covenant. I mean, I can just pay 10, put them to 1. Lose my land forever. Is that how I want to do this? I can also attack with my Death Touch Snake. Or they can't attack. I can't attack. Nobody can attack right now. Or I think I just go to 10 and then I lose my Swamp, but they lose their Island Mountain. Okay, I mean, this isn't pretty, but we're playing ugly Magic here. 10. I light that thing up. I lose a Swamp. You lose Island Mountain. I put you to 1. And then we see what's going on around here. Probably would have played my lands differently if I knew Sundering Titan was in their deck. I just gave them the clean sweep with all my duels. Maybe I can't get there anyway, but I could have at least acknowledged it. There's 3 basic swamps in my graveyard. Could have just like played those. Okay, we beat a Tinker for Bolas' Citadel into Upheaval into Sundering Titan. Heck yeah. Creatures. I suspect we might be in a matchup where I'm supposed to splash this Pest Infestation. We saw a lot of deeply messed up artifacts. Island can just become Tropical Island. This adds a forest to my deck, which messes up Sundering Titan a little bit for me, like makes it worse. Just turn a swamp into a Blooming Marsh, and then Pest Infestation. I have Trop, Blooming Marsh, and I think 2 of these talismans are good for it. Yeah, I have blue-green and black-green talisman. That's 4 sources for 1 spell. Then I gotta make 1 cut here. I could also bring in Coalition Relic if I think that, or if I want more access to that. Rankle being a haste creature is actually pretty fire in this matchup. Their life total was really low that game. I like 3 PI. The Ready kept me in that game. Fire Covenant was big. Crystalline Giant's just some creature. Alright, I can cut Crystalline Giant. And do I want the Coalition Relic? If so, where's it going? I mean, subtletying a hard cast Sundering Titan is gonna feel insane. Maybe Umezawa's Jitte. I didn't see a lot of creatures, or at least like normal sized creatures where Jitte would make a big difference. Okay. I have a plan. The Spell Pierce, so tempting. I am going to keep this hand, but it does need to find a blue source, or at least land number 3 to get Coalition Relic off the ground. I think Spell Pierce will be an absolute unit against this deck, if it plays out anything like the last game did. Nice. Okay, easy game. 3 PI, bummer. Yeah, that card's really good. We've seen Bolt and Incinerate in their deck, so they do have this weird low gear. Strix, get in there. Disappointing, but at least that didn't target Gix. Now I'm in an awkward spot where I would like to Burst Lightning the 3 PI, but I would also like to hold up Spell Pierce. This is my land. I can Coalition Relic Burst Lightning. I could Talisman of Resilience Dothy or Talisman of Resilience. Hold up Spell Pierce. I think holding Spell Pierce is a huge punt here. I hate that they have this creature in play. This artifact creature that I have to care about Tinker with. Alright. Relic. And I'm going to Burst Lightning the Iconoclast on their upkeep. That way if they do have a counterspell, it costs them their own mana to do it. Okay, that's gone. Please don't shove Tinker right now. Get a damage. Fingers crossed. I hate my life. They have it. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's 1 card out of their 40. I could play around this or that. Both the Citadel's in play now. Thran Dynamo's here. Mox Opal. Hangerback Walker just dies immediately. That's fine. Talisman. They can easily pay for Spell Pierce at this point. Metamorph can copy Thran Dynamo or Coalition Relic if they prefer. Oh, that what misery. And this kills all my lands. All right. Maybe I'm just supposed to hold up Spell Pierce. I just played bad. There's no, I'm not allowed to complain around that. Like the downside of leaving Iconoclast in play is they make a 1/1 or 2, and the downside of leaving down Spell Pierce is I just lose immediately. I just punted that one. Did not correctly assess what I needed to. I just realized I had my screen set to the draft proportions. I just switched it over to the game proportions. Sorry if that was awkward for this last 2 games. When you're usually a constructed exclusive person, don't usually have to toggle between screens. My bad. This hand draws cards and does stuff. I'm gonna keep it. Water Grave tapped and go. Tap land from them as well. Dothy Voidwalker versus Strix versus Talisman. If I play Talisman, I can Strix and Dothy next turn. Yeah, I think setting up the double spell is the way to go. Shelldock Isle, that's a good one. And we know they have bangers in the deck to hit with it too. A Graven Cairns is not a swamp or an island or a mountain. I like that about it. A blue-black Strix. Draw a card. Ooh, Booter. Do I want to boot them or Voidwalk first? I think I want to boot them. Because that's kind of like a have a removal spell now or just lose for it type thing. Oh look, Tinker's in their hand. What a legend. Okay. They can metamorph my Booter. They could metamorph my Strix and draw a card, which makes Booter not really a combat object. And luckily, Booter's not very good against my deck. They take this Burst Lightning, and then whatever. I just have a bunch of creatures. And, land. Talisman. I'm going to Voidwalker pre-combat, because if they trade with my Strix, I want to have Metamorph in the Void. Can't imagine they would do that, though. He took the 1, to the surprise of nobody. And then I can Gearhulk their Booter next turn, which puts Metamorph in the Void. Wait, let me read the words on this. Another target creature. Okay, yeah. I thought this was printed after the age where they stopped doing non-black, non-artifact, or whatever, because it is both black and artifact somehow. But Gearhulk is just kill it dead. We know they have Bolt and Incinerate, at least. I'm just thinking of how they set free this Tinker. And now I have EI in the Void, in case that ever becomes relevant. Talisman of Dominance. Can't play that one also. And I'm just going in here. I want to kill this thing. I want to push damage. I want to make them dead before their Shelldock Isle gets online, before anything else happens. Put this Metamorph in the Void. And attack with all my creatures. Tempo you out. This is the deck I built. Here it comes. They're going to have to do something other than just like play Thran Dynamo this turn. Ugh. Yeah, they're just literally dead. On the board, as they say. Attack with all my creatures. They're going to need a removal spell here. I have Burst Lightning in my hand, and they know I do. I can Concaso it for 4 damage. Alright, looks like they got something. Shark Typhoon. This is a 2. Alright. I mean, I'm just going to kill that rather than unlock the Tinker. That's very easy. Or, hold on. Did they have forced blocks here? If they block Booter, they take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they die. If they block Gearhulk... Oh, Gearhulk has Menace. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're just dead. This doesn't even matter. Okay, yeah. I can kick the Burst Lightning. There we go. Alright. I'm glad I stopped to do the math, because, don't be stupid. Don't knee-jerk. Alright, dope. Burst Lightning cost me game 2, but it won me game 3. We're on the board. We're still alive for this series to end. On to the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7Factor or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play in round 2. I don't have land number 3 or all my colors, but this is a sweet little hand. If my first 2 draw steps give me a land, I am curving out like a boss. If it's a mountain, everyone's dead. I am going to play around Wasteland by playing the Swamp. It's just 1 card in the cube, but my hand is already reliant on finding lane number 3. I don't want it reliant on finding lane number 4 before I even get a creature down. Yuck. Okay, Underground Sea, and I did find land number 3. Voidwalker, get in. Please don't mana drain this. Remand. Alright, it's not mana drain. I'll take it. Ancestral Recall too. Cool. I've managed to do 3 drafts without looking at a piece of power, and in all 3 drafts I played against multiple opponents who had multiple pieces of power. Alright, Thief of Sanity. Maybe we'll get some pieces of power from an opponent this time. Another 2 mana counterspell. Great. Alright, mana leaked that one. They even got the Ancestral in before my Voidwalker could put it in the void, so I don't get my own. Spellseeker. They're just very close to Shelldock being active already. It's turn 2, or turn 3. Tutored for Ponder. Alright, Creepy Tar Pit. And I'm gonna get Crystalline Giant going. I gotta start bashing faces. Beginning of combat, what do we get? Lifelink. Alright. Not the best one. Sometimes the best one. Not for this matchup, though. Tundra. Ponder. Teferi, Time Raveler. Awesome. Shelldock Isle is active after their next draw step. Land, please. Cool. Alright. I get to double spell this turn. I can even play Dack and steal their Mox if I think that matters. I would lose Dack because they have this random 1/1 in play. I don't think I'm going to Dack this turn. Yeah, I'm going to Crystalline Giant, see what it does. If it gets haste, it can kill Teferi. It gets +1/+1. And I'm going to play Dothy Voidwalker. And then I'll pass and see what's under the Shelldock Isle. And kind of hope it's a Blightsteel Colossus. My hand's very good at that. Rankle could have just killed Teferi, but I think double spelling is probably better. Solitude, cool. Going after Voidwalker makes sense. They stacked the Evoke correctly. Pitched Touch the Spirit Realm for that. Plus Teferi. Shelldock gets to violate timing rules even without Teferi's help, so whatever this is could happen anytime. They're in the deck I always want to be in. Just blow away control with multiple pieces of power. Great. Elspeth Conquers deck exiles this. My spells cost 1 million next turn, and then they get back their Solitude. This is tough. The Tolarian Academy with 0 artifacts. You love to see it. Okay. Academy is a swamp, though. Though I am planning to draw a card this turn. I don't like giving my opponent a card, but gotta do what we gotta do, right? Actually, leading on Academy gives me the most options. Second main with my colors. Rankle. Oh, right, I'm not drawing a card because I'm hitting Teferi, not my opponent. Cool. Don't even have to worry about it. Do I even need to hit Teferi? I can hit Teferi next turn. I don't have instants. I don't care. I can just hit my opponent now. I guess I care about them making sorceries into instants. I suspect my opponent does not speak English because in the chat they just said, do you am, comma, I being badiv an artifact, question mark. I assume they're asking, oh yeah, they don't realize I have Urborg. Yeah, okay. Either they typed that very quickly or Google Translate failed them on the first hit. But yeah, there's an Urborg in play. That's why Academy can tap. I think I am worried enough about Teferi that I'll take a slap at it. Elspeth can get that back, but if Elspeth gets that back, then it doesn't get back Solitude, and there's just all sorts of problems. There's an Elspeth Sun's Champion in the graveyard, just perfect theme deck here. Their deck is so beautiful. Oh, that one too. Cool. We're just having a bad time everywhere. And starting to Fate Seal me. Matches like this, are my biggest criticism of Vintage Cube. They're also my biggest criticism of Vintage as a Magic format. Like, I have a pretty cool deck that has a coherent plan. I think I drafted pretty well, and my opponent had Mox Sapphire, 2-mana counterspell on turn 1 into Ancestral Recall, and we're just not really playing Magic. I mean, I'm not like dead, I still have life points left, but we're not actually playing Magic here, no matter what anyone says about it. Okay, I guess I have to take a shot at Jace. Wake up Creeping Tar Pit. Attack Jace for 6. Here comes the Shelldock Isle. What horrible fate befalls me here. Treachery! Okay. Neat. This untaps all your lands too. And Rankle connecting and making both players discard a card is going to favor my opponent all day, every day. Yeah, this is not a game I can continue to play. Okay, what do we do here? They're nut blue-white control with every good planeswalker and at least 2 pieces of power that we've seen. And here's Warcrafting, can hit planeswalkers if I can even cast this card reliably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red sources, 7 red sources. Fire Covenant doesn't seem super important. Like, I don't think I need to wrath creatures off their board. Grixis super slow, but I mean, this is the type of matchup just in Magic the Gathering in general where a card like Grixis is good. Umezawa's Jitte, same concern. Okay, I will try it like this. Yeah, I'll keep this hand. Perfectly reasonable Magic Gathering hand. Can't wait to die to Ancestral Recall. Botanical Sanctum. Conveniently cast the card I'm worried about. I'm going to start with Booter. I drew land number 3, which means I can look at their hand first to see what they're up to. Yeah, just Ancestral in response. Sure, whatever. Just because it's in your deck doesn't mean you have to have it in your opening hand. Give me a break. Counterspell, Reprieve, Jace. Mine's go. Sheesh. I guess I'll take Jace because I can't, like, flip a Counterspell out of this hand. Not effectively. And it's turn 2. They've had 1 turn. And I just took a card out of their hand, and they have 8 cards in their hand. Preposterous. Mox, Plains, here they are. And this is what Grixis is for, though. This is the exact situation this card is included in my deck for. It's pretty resilient to counter spells, because I don't care if you counter it. You lose a card either way. Black-red. And they can reprieve this to draw a card. Yeah, that's fine. That lets me double spell next turn. I actually think it would have been totally reasonable for them to let Grixis Resolve discard one of their million lands in hand. And then just pass. Like, with all their counterspells still available. Like, pretty happy with that exchange, actually. Gonna get in for another 1. Then I'm gonna play Grixis first before even making my land drop. I don't think they could or would counter this. They did not. That forest is gone, and then I can play Strix. We'll see if they want to counter this. This is also pretty low impact, but if they're just trying to cast their spells, that's good for me. Because if I get this One Ring going, that's actually a card that can keep up. Jeez, alright. Nope, just drew a removal spell in the meantime, and then they get to jam Jace. Okay. Well, One Ring versus Jace. They can't hold up Counterspell unless they have another Mox here. Regrowth targeting Ancestral Recall. Yeah, we're having a good time. You have to discard a card. Plenty of lands over there. Still Counterspell in the hand. Murderous Rider kills Jace. That's good. 1, 2 for Talisman. And then 1, 2, 3 for Crystalline Giant. Trying to work through these counterspells so I can handle Jace or resolve my One Ring and catch up. Beginning of combat. Come on, Hexproof. Menace. Alright. In for 1. Play my land drop. And pass. Alright, holding strong to that counterspell. They've been super disciplined about that. Treachery. Watch it get hexproof now. Treachery into Jace with counterspell backup. And Fate Sealing me. A first strike. I drew a land. Now I have kind of a miserable decision to make, which is, do I want my One Ring to get countered and then I kill Jace versus their 5-card hand? Or do I want to get Murderous Rider countered and then resolve One Ring and try to catch up? And I think One Ring is better. Swift End targeting Jace. There's the counter. Land, One Ring. Draw a card. Do I bother with Jace at all? I think I just go face here, but if this Crystalline Giant gets lifelink, all of this is a joke. It can't Fate Seal me this turn because I have protection. Crystalline Giant doesn't get a good attack this turn. It can attack, but it won't do anything. Fairy Time Raveler can bounce my One Ring. Okay, just plussed instead. That's pretty good too. Bouncing One Ring is a pretty mediocre experience. Oh, it's an elk. It's an elk, folks. Oh, they made food. Interesting. All right, I'm not sure what's going on. I probably shouldn't have gotten this activation, but I did. And now I can take my Crystalline Giant back. And it might even get haste. Okay. But they can bounce their Treachery. Kind of messed up stuff here. Okay. Academy's good for 3. But that's still true next turn. Red, colorless, blue. In control of Crystalline Giant. Alright, I'd like haste. Haste, please. First strike, menace, lifelink, +1 counter. Didn't get there. Attack. All of these are so bad. It doesn't matter. I guess I can start on the Teferi. Because if Teferi bounces Treachery and then takes 1 now, I do have an attack on Teferi, I guess. The Teferi can bounce Treachery, and then they elk their food, and then Dack's dead. Yep. Treachery again. Just need to hope they keep failing to elk my ring, I guess. Yep, they elked their food, which does kill Dack. Which is a shame, because Dack was about to fuel Croxa. But my One Ring is still around at the moment. Death Touch added to the Giant. Okay. Food kills Dack. Food elk. Spellseeker. Cool. Remand. That's pretty good. I do currently have an attack on Teferi. Oh, not anymore. My ring is gone. I do still have an attack on Teferi, but okay. Yeah, we're dead. Unfortunate. Yeah, my thoughts that I laid out already. My largest criticism of Vintage Cube is that sometimes you don't own power and your opponent opens multiple pieces and then you just have a bad time for no reason. Legacy Cube, just the power level's flatter. I get the appeal of just going completely bonkers with Ancestral Recall, Regrowth, Black Lotus. Like, I get it. I like it too. I play a lot of Vintage, but if we were to say, you know, send someone down a trophy challenge where it is their job to win all 3 rounds of a thing, and they go 3 drafts without opening a single piece of power, without looking at a Soul Ring or Mana Crypt or even a Library of Alexandria, just, you know, nothing, and then you get paired into a deck like this. There's just like a limit to the format in that way, where I think this game would have been really interesting and fun if they did an Ancestral Recall twice. Like, I was doing cool stuff, they were doing cool stuff, except this also happened. That is my criticism of the format, but we have another round to play. Let's go.
The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe.
I'm on the draw for the last round. I have 3 mana, all my colors, and some cool spells to cast. Let's do it. How many Mox in is my opponent going to cast on turn 1? Let's play the game. Spar's Headquarters. Wow, not even a Mox at all. Was Island Go. Craven Inspector, the old hard evidence. Cool. Big fan of that card. Theoretically. Oh, less fan of them having Mox Ruby. I'll deploy my Black Source, because that's the one I need. Come on. Okay, they're just cracking a clue. They were tapping mana. I was like, don't you dare counter this. I need it. If I draw a land, I can double spell next turn. If I don't draw a land, I can Thief of Sanity. Come on, land. Not a land. Okay. I could Talisman plus Jite and set up Sower. I think I'd rather just start thieving, or at least have the option to start thieving if they don't have an immediate answer to it. This card's really good when it starts connecting. And now if I draw a land, I can cast and equip Jite. Or I could play Talisman plus Ophiomancer. Mindslaver, okay. That's fun. Kinda. Rankle's really dangerous with Mindslaver, obviously. Jite's really dangerous with Mindslaver. That just messed up everything I was going to do. I'm going to attack them and hope that Thief of Sanity gives me an answer to Mindslaver. Look at the top 3 cards of their library, exile one face down, put the rest in the graveyard. You may cast the card as long as it remains exiled, and any mana can be spent to cast it. Alright, so just give me like a bounce spell, a disenchant, even a counter. Nope, counter spell's not good, because that's already in play. Alright. Thief of Sanity. Steal. Flash. Interesting. Maybe I'll take their Solemn Simulacrum. I don't know, this sucks a lot though. I mean, for 10 mana, Mindslaver should be good. Just sucks that it happened on turn 4. A Flash does not actually do anything for me. Alright, these are the cards. I'll take the Solemn. Is there a smart way to minimize damage next turn of the Mindslaver? And Thief is as long as it remains exiled. It's not as long as you control Thief or any such thing. I'm just going to get my Ophiomancer out. And, I mean, 3 of the 4 cards in my hand are removal spells, so if they Mindslaver me, they're going to be able to hurt me a bit, but at least the card I got with Thief is not something that can really hurt me. Emery. So I'm not quite hard-locked. It takes 10 mana to hard-lock me. They can Mindslaver me every other turn. Yikes. That's terrifying. I suspect they will Rankle and sack my best creature and make us discard. Though, if they Rankle and make us sack and then spend next turn replaying Mindslaver, Rankle will kill Emery on the following turn. Same with Jite. If they Jite to kill one of my creatures, that can kill Emery next turn. I have multiple answers to Emery over a turn cycle. Looks like Rankle is the decision here. And they just burnt off my last mana. And they don't know that I have Burst Lightning in the deck. Interesting. That Ophiomancer is attacking. Is that just to get a creature tapped, I guess? If each player discards a card, each player sacks a creature. They discard my Jite, I guess, and then kill... Oh, they're discarding Strix. I'd be more worried about Jite. Nope, they deselected. Alright, I'll just stop talking until they make a choice. Okay, Worldspine Worm was their discard. Baleful Strix was mine. Interesting. Why do you care about Baleful Strix when I can kill your Emery? Just on board in multiple ways. Okay. And that sucked, but all things considered, that was... did not feel like 10 mana worth of play. And if they refire Mindslaver this turn, they just time walk themselves in order to future time walk me. They got to make a different play this turn. Upheaval, sure. Yeah, that's a good play. And then they can replay Emery at the very least. That explains why they took the Strix. And there's Emery. A Monolith in the bin. Worked their way pretty quickly back to this Mindslaver. But look at me with Dack Fayden. Okay. I'm going to play Island, just in case they are suddenly a Wasteland strategy. I have to discard 3 cards. Noxious Gearhulk's going to be one of them. For sure. And then Jite is an answer to Emery, but not for a long time. And Sower is basically the same there. And then, do I need 2 talismans? I have double blue. I'm going to discard Talisman of Curiosity. So the talisman does set up double spell for the following turn. Rankle versus Sower. I took their Flash, and we saw Worldspine Worm, which is their payoff for Flash. This is actually really tough. Sower versus Rankle is my last decision here. I think Rankle, because it hurts less. Sower hurts less under Mindslaver. Playing Talisman from their graveyard. Talisman from their hand. They can play Mindslaver next turn. But then I can Dack it on the following. They have not seen Dack. That was a secret. Alright, kind of hope they do play Mindslaver this turn. Targeting Grim Monolith with Emery. They have 2 lands in their hand. They can play and activate Mindslaver all next turn. I don't like that. Now I kind of hope they play some creature, and then I can play Talisman plus Fire Cove, and 2-for-1 them, take the Emery loop out of the game. Why would they do that, though? That's too easy for me. A Dack minus die doesn't really excite me. Raven Cairns, Talisman of Curiosity, I think is my play. And then kill Emery. I have to do it now. And 5 cards in hand. Any counterspell just obliterates me. Cycling Spars HQ, that's good news. Okay. We're out of the oppressive thumb of Emery. We are against an opponent with 6 cards in hand and 9 mana. Kind of scary. But I have Sower of Temptation if that Worldspine Worm ends up in play somehow. And then I have Dack Fayden if they do some artifact thing. Triplicate Titan. Okay, sweet. That's mine. This is a Worm Coil engine, but does a 3/3 flying, 3/3 Vig, 3/3 trample. And I can play around, I believe, all of the soft permission in the cube right now. A blue, red, colorless. They know about Sower of Temptation, so they might have a removal spell. They don't know about Dack Fayden. I'll take that. And Ophiomancer's back too. Alright, pack 1, pick 1, Dack Fayden. Finally delivering. That's also a very cool card to flash in with Flash. They have Worldspine Worm and Triplicate Titan. And Primeval Titan. All of those are things that have reasonable value, even if they die right away. Cool deck. Lightstone and Weakstone. Yeah, that's an answer to Sower of Temptation. That explains why they ran the Triplicate Titan into Sower. The predicted removal spell. Now they have a Triplicate Titan, but I can steal theirs with Sower now. Again. Oh, I can even boot them for answers first. Wow. Alright. Yeah, let's do a little peek of boot here. What you working with? Minsk and Boo Time Warp. Minsk and Boo is pretty cool. Time Warp is annoying. Can I beat Minsk and Boo just straight up? They make a 4/4. I don't care about that. They can sack the token right away to deal 1. That doesn't do anything. Alright, yeah, I'm taking the Time Warp. And I'm going to Dack targeting me. Wow, Subtlety even counters the Minsk and Boo. And not this turn, but someday. My second mind control of the game. Deck with all my creatures, put you very low. If they do draw a removal spell for Sower, and then Minsk and Boo, great. I thought we were having a good game. I thought we were having fun here. Another opponent with 2 pieces of power and one of them's Ancestral Recall. Give me a break. Anyway, they have 6 cards in their deck. We'll try to just beat them anyway. Ugh. Alright, well, at least they showed me that one on the way out. Pest Infestation Splash is coming in here. Big time artifact strategy. Swamp and Island come out for the 2 lands. Dack's great, Duretti's great. Fire Covenant certainly has text. Dothy Voidwalker actually seems incredible. They did a lot of graveyard shenanigans and indicated a lot more. The Jitte doesn't seem huge here. It would have been good against Emery. But I'm looking at Coalition Relic and Kroxa as cards that I want. Massacre Worm pretty cool too. Is it Crystalline Giant? Is that just the most medium card in the deck? I think it's fine as a curve filler, but kinda whack. Oh, I did just bring in 3 cards. And only cut 2. Spell Pierce is reasonable. I like Subtlety. I like all the mind controls, of course. Yeah, maybe I'm not on Team Kroxa here. Okay. This is my plan. Pest Infestation, no green yet, but I am going to keep my hand I can boot and Strix. Got options here. I could cast both on turn 3 if I talisman on 2. I could just decide on turn 2 if it looks like I need to boot or ramp. Opponent mulled to 6. Water Grave versus Steam Vents. I have Urborg, so Steam Vents is also Water Grave if I want it to be. Mox Opal. Emery. A Primetime Seed Shark. Not actually an artifact itself. 0 artifacts in the graveyard there. A Creeping Tar Pit is not the play. It's either Freebooter or Talisman, and I think it's Talisman. With this Emery whiffing, I think this is my window to develop and try to keep up on a meaningful axis. Emery in combat, you love to see it. Nobody has ever done that as plan A. No one's ever been happy about it. Okay, I'm gonna boot them first, and then I'll probably play Strix. Dismember, Mightstone, Worldspine Worm. I guess I take Dismember because their other 2 cards are completely uncastable. And playing Urborg makes Dismember castable, but I have it anyway. Yeah, I don't think it's worth 2 life to not give them black. And I think Strix moving the game forward. And we found Gix. All right, time to bury my opponent in cards. I got 2 flyers. I got a Gix. I can outdraw Ancestral Recall at this point. Nice. Still working with perfect info. Now I have the choice of play Gix just with black, colorless. Draw 2 cards, see what happens. Or I could play Talisman and try to... I can still play Talisman. It doesn't matter. All right. Gix, get in there. Draw me 2 cards. Here we go. 1 ring. Sower of Temptation. Good stuff. Getting this Talisman in is worth doing because this is my green source for this pest infestation. And send it. If they don't find an untapped mana source, they might not do anything this turn. Solemn Simulacrum, okay. This gets the Mightstone and Meekstone next turn. Weakstone, sorry. Meekstone is a different card. Okay, I am going to, I think, just destroy all their artifacts and then attack with all my creatures and draw a gajillion. Emery can't replay Solemn and they play Mightstone all next turn. Not a thing. Okay, what's the best sequencing for this? It'll cost me 5 mana to kill their 2 things. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go 1, 2, 3, Coalition Relic, that's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Relic not being a Talisman and Creeping Tar Pit coming into play tapped are both pressure points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kill your stuff. This also makes 2 bugs that go off with Gix. Oh, it makes 4 bugs? I get twice as many bugs. Is that how this works? Oh yeah, it does literally say create twice. Okay, yeah. I thought that card was good when you just got X. I am going to draw 3 cards here and lose 3 life. Volcanic Island, Ophiomancer, and Noxious Gearhulk. And just play my Tar Pit and pass the turn. Here we are. Powerful Magic has been played. How sick would it be if I just Spell Pierce their Mightstone right now? Obviously I don't have it, but what a beating that would be. Played Island. This Worldspine Worm looking real bad. If they have Flash here, I'm not even convinced that's good, because I can Noxious Gearhulk, Sower, or Murderous Rider, just work through the 5/5s pretty easily. Mindslaver. Suspect that's way too late, or at least I hope it is. Oh yeah, 1 ring. Yeah, you gain control of target player's next turn. So if I 1 ring and then they can't Mindslave me in the upkeep and then get it. That's not how that works. Gix is optional 3, 7, 8, 9. Can 9 them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, I can 12 them right now. Do I have 1 damage anywhere? Burst Lightning's in my deck. I can put them to 1 and draw 8 cards. Can I also play the 1 ring if I miss? Yes, I can go to 3, put them to 1. If 1 ring is among the card, or if Burst Lightning is among the cards I draw, I just win. And if it's not, I play the 1 ring. Okay. I'll do that. Wait, what are the words on Gix? Isn't this like something completely fucked? Or black, black, black. Discard X cards. Exile the top X cards of target's opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from one of them without paying their mana cost. Oh, I can just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 mana. I think that's still worse than the One Ring. Yeah, I'm gonna fire up Tar Pit, just try to win the game right now. And if I miss, I'll One Ring. Back with all my creatures. 8 triggers. Island. Academy. Still have my land drop. Subtlety, that'll help survive the turn if necessary. Voidwalker. Badlands. Swamp, one last draw. And Iconoclast. Didn't get there, but I did draw Academy. And I have 1, 2, 3 artifacts. I can make it 4. Okay, 1, 2, Talisman. And then Academy. It's good for 4. Which can play the One Ring. The Protection. And Talisman doesn't hurt me right now if I want to do something with it. Oh, I tapped wrong, actually. There are multiple spells I could have cast here. The 3PI, but the Voidwalker... I could have sequenced Coalition Relic first and ended up with just enough. Alright, I miscounted. That's fine. I have protection from everything and subtlety up. I think I'll figure it out, I hope. Okay. I guess Lightning Bolt kills me. If that's somehow a card in their deck. They cannot take control of my turn. Emery can't attack me effectively. Mightstone and Weakstone can kill one of my creatures. I don't care. Yeah, drawing 2 cards, right. Yeah, killing my creature doesn't help here. We did it. A 2-1, a positive record. This deck, I actually like this deck a lot. I think it achieved a good balance of meaningful interaction, meaningful pressure, and meaningful mana ramp. Kind of felt like we were doing Vintage Cube stuff. We were at like 60% Vintage Cube stuff. This definitely felt stronger than a Legacy Cube deck, but like the opponent who cast Ancestral Recall 3 times in 2 games, we were never playing that one. We did, however, I will say, despite the kind of fair, modest offering of this great little Grixis tempo deck, we beat a Tinker for Bolas' Citadel. We beat 2 Upheavals this game, or this league. We beat one of the Ancestral Recall players, the one who didn't have it all 3 games and cast it when they were dead on board. The one who had it on turn 1 all 3 games, they beat us. The Pest Infestation sideboard was actually like really free and really good. I kind of like the discipline of leaving it in the sideboard. Maybe Kroxa is better than Crystalline Giant. That's a maybe. I like that we didn't play Ugin, even though we have the Academy and could theoretically cast it. I think that was good as well. We have 2 creature lands that we didn't play because we needed to get our colors under us. I do like how this deck was built. I wish it had a Time Walker and Ancestral Recall in it, but them's the breaks. And we're getting closer to the trophy. There will be in episode 4 of this series, but I feel really good about this one. The last 2 leagues, the end of league debrief was kind of like, yeah, I misunderstood this, or yeah, this archetype just didn't really hold up in the format. I'm not going to say anything like that this time. This archetype does hold up in the format. I'm quite proud of this deck, and we lost to an opponent who had Ancestral Recall and Mox Sapphire to fire it off and regrow it. Like, whatever. We're not going to win those decks with decks like this one in most of the games. But good construction, good draft, and we're getting close to that trophy. I will see you for the next video, and Cube fans, get ready for episode 4. That'll be out at some point.